So we say we do the good and the bad. Today is not a good day. Today is bad. Hopefully you'll actually be able to hear better on my computer. Yeah, I look like a beat up hugger. Oh, there's Terry. Would you say hello? Yeah, I'm going. I'll see you soon.
I will high five anything. Well, you know what? Anthony and I do the fist bump with the explosion. Right, Anthony? Yeah. I do one with my daughter. We trail off and go la 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 la. If you've seen Big Hero 6, you'll know it. Okay. Big Hero 6. Bro, you news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say CJ8800. Listen to our podcast, Andrew Carter. This is an incredible story. The Big Five with Elias Mackos. Montreal Now. CJ800.com or find them on the iHeartRadio app. The music video for The Police's Every Breath You Take has officially joined YouTube's billion views club.
Motherfucker.
Originally released as the lead single off the 1983 album, Synchronicity. The Sting and ballad eventually became the Police's sole #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. 8 weeks. Won Grammys for Song of the Year, Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group with vocal. So this is average. Imagine this, 300,000 views every day so far this year. My question is, why? Why? Go outside and play. 808 will be a beautiful day. Saturday, hey, CJ80, Dormivir weather.
Terrific day to go outside and play. I sit back and admiring these yellow leaves in front of my apartment window. The sunshine is hitting them perfectly this hour, and I think I'm going to have a nice fall off. We're soaring to a high of 23. We're up 3 in the past hour, now 12 at the airport. There is some clouds now, but it's overall going to be sunny through the day. We have some clouds moving back in late this afternoon, when incidentally we'll also hit a humidity high of 25 around the 5 o'clock hour. 23 for the regular high. There's a bit of wind coming in from the southwest this morning. Tonight, mainly cloudy, a low of 13, beautiful wind, small chance of showers after midnight, setting the stage for Friday. It's going to be wet.
Okay.
We'll have a few showers starting in the morning. It's going to wrap up by the afternoon. We're going to hit a high of 16, and then the temperature will fall to 11 in the afternoon. For your Saturday, sunny, high of 12. On Sunday, a small showers, the high of 14, and just because it's a long weekend, Thanksgiving Monday, a high of 13. Right now at Trudeau Airport, it's 12 degrees, and there's some clouds in the sky.
Lachine Hospital is getting an upgrade. We'll take a look at that next. When you're ready to start your workday at the office or at the kitchen table, we'll keep you company. On your radio, on the iHeartRadio app, or just ask your smart speaker for CJ80 800. There's a new and improved Lotto 649. That's right, Quebec State Law is coming back with not one, but 2 big jackpots for the same ticket. The classic at 5 million.
That's a new sound.
The Gold Ball jackpot starts at 10 million and can go over $60 million. It won't change you, except when you think about it, it will change you a little bit, right? So, starting today, when you buy your ticket, you can say, I'll take a new 649. 18 and over.
Voting is now open for the Best of Montreal. It's your chance to vote for who you think is the best. Best places to eat, shop, meet up, be entertained, services, and more. There's no cost to vote. Go to votemtl.com
Yeah, we got it.
and cast your vote. That's votemtl.com. The Best of Montreal is presented by The Suburban, Montreal's largest English newspaper. The voting deadline has been extended at votemtl.com. That's votemtl.com.
Please.
To protect myself, those around me this flu season.
Book your vaccinations online with AXA Pharma at Walmart. It changes everything. A message from your pharmacist owners affiliated with AXA Pharma at Walmart. The only ones responsible for the pharmacy practice. Two-time Academy Award winner Hilary Swank stars.
I'm going to break this story.
In one of the most anticipated dramas of the season. Alaska Daily new series starts tonight at 10. Set your PDR only on CTV. Making sure you start the day informed. This is the Ed Carter Morning Show. CJAD 800.
Right, it's 811. When I was a kid, and they had two hospitals in Lachine Hospital and the Hôpital Saint Joseph. We used to call it St. Joseph's Hospital. Now it's called the Lachine Hospital, and it's a real big deal in the community. I don't know, my parents use this hospital a lot. The Lachine Hospital and the MUHC are launching a campaign today to raise $5 million to purchase state-of-the-art equipment in the hospital. It's set to double in size. A $210 million provincial cash injection. But they need new furniture. That would be equipment to really make the place show. Ellen Gagnon is co-chairing the team raising the money. It's called Dream Big Committee. She's also a senior vice president at CA. Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning, Andrew.
So this is, I really do applaud when somebody undertakes something like this because, raising money for extra stuff at a hospital is not always an easy thing to do. So where do you start? Who do you approach to try to raise this $5 million?
Well, honestly, it's a team effort. Of course, we're 4 co-chairs, the mayor of Lachine, Maya Boulac-Beck is one of them, Peter Pomponio, who's president of Ascensi Dorval, François Vaquet from Citoyen, myself. We're going to work with the foundation of the Lachine Hospital and the MUHC Foundation. We're basically going to approach citizens residing in the West Island, but also all different companies operating in the West Island to ask them to consider giving a donation to this $5 million campaign. No amount is too small. Everything adds up to actually get to this $5 million. And we'll basically explain to people that, yes, the funding, the new campus, the expansion, but if we really want to have the state-of-the-art technology, that's what hospital foundations are for. And if we want, to maximize the benefits of this new campus in the West Island, then we should rally together and act in solidarity. We all know somebody who will need to get care in the hospital. You mentioned at the outset that your parents use that hospital. Probably, our employees, we're headquartered on one of our employees and their families live in the West Island. We all know somebody who needs a hospital, and thinking that we would have the same quality care of the MUHC right here in the West Island is kind of the comfort of our community hospital, but with the world-class expertise. I think it's worth, giving a donation to support this fundraising campaign.
$5 million will go to purchase what?
It's all the equipment. So, for example, there's going to be a new offering at the Lachine campus to have the same high-quality equipment, technology. We're going to have patient rooms, so 100% of single patient rooms in the new campus. So to have all these facilities, I think, everybody would prefer to be in a single patient room, when you have to stay in the hospital. So to buy all these equipment, $5 million goes back.
Yeah, it sure does. So if somebody is interested in helping out, how would they go about doing that?
They go on there's a website. I just want to make sure I give you the right address, but it's going to be easy if you Google Lachine Hospital, because we're actually today launching the campaign. So it's going to be, I think, in the media and in your community, Lachine Hospital campaign, MUHC campaign. Every donation actually matters, because it's going to be helpful also to retain and top talent right here. Having a building is great, but if we want, to have the right
staff to provide the compassionate care that everyone deserves in the West Island, it would be great to have the right equipment in addition to the building. So hopefully people will consider a donation to this campaign.
Ellen, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Ellen Gagnon is co-chairing a team raising money called the Dream Big Community for Lachine Hospital. Originally, the sign up there still says Hôpital Saint-Joseph on the main building. It dates back to 1913, that building. 8:16. And watching your ride in this morning, CJ 800 traffic. Here's Catherine Wood.
On the westbound 20, they've cleared a stall at Osprey-Yon. You remain busy from before Osprey over towards the St. Mary's Interchange, and eastbound 20 is congested from before Doorbell Circle over to First. Northbound to Carey is heavy from before Turcotte up to the top. Westbound and still busy at Plain. Eastbound 40 will hold you back from St. John's over to Highness, then from almost the 13 into the Carey Circle. Inbound Champlain, they've cleared the stall at Nuns Island, still backing almost to the 30 though on the 10 west. Still seeing delays toward the First Gate, heaviest by the 132. Albella will tunnel back to the 40. 13 south holds back before the 440, then from Cote de Lion. Laurentian Auto southbound Bosco to the Met. To help Canada meet its climate goals, oil sands companies have joined forces on carbon capture technology. See their plan for net zero at pathwaysalliance.ca. Next traffic report 8:30.
When you hear Michael Bublé, we're just gonna play the Michael Bublé, and then you call. We're gonna do the wait a second. Anthony's in charge of the contents here. Anthony DiBiase, you have master control.
When you hear Bublé, how is it? Let's do it.
Wow, simple as that.
Simple as that.
When you hear Michael Bublé, he's coming to Bell Center October 8th. Got a pair of tickets here. When you hear Michael Bublé, that will be your cue to call. You're the 10th caller through. You will get the PA. All right, this is your forecast for today. You ready? Because it's a good one. 23 and sunshine. There's even a humidex of 25. Trudy Mason with the CTV News Update.
Good morning, Andrew. Well, Hockey Canada has seen another sponsor bail on the men's program. TELUS has said it will not be sponsoring the Hockey Canada men's program this season. We'll tell you more coming up on the 8:30 news. There is construction getting underway once again on Montreal's 2 new organic waste treatment plants, but the contractor coming after the city for more money, and some charges against a TV producer who worked on some big shows you may have watched. This is sexual assault cases. More on that coming up in about 12 minutes.
Trudy, thank you. Thank you very much. So I figured out why the hockey game starts early tonight. Because it's played in Gander, Newfoundland, as part of this craft hockey bill thing. The Montreal Canadiens are actually the home team. I don't know how they work that out, but they are. Against the Ottawa Senators. So I think it starts at the game time I saw was 6 o'clock our time. Coming up, Chatter That Matters. Focus this week is on a man who parlayed a $25,000 business loan into a multi-billion-dollar business.
The Andrew Carter Morning Show, brought to you by Max Le Bonheur. Right now, get a free adjustable bed with the purchase of select Stearns & Foster and Techno Gel mattresses. MaxLeBonheur.ca. You saw people you haven't seen in a while.
You went places you haven't been in a while.
And you accumulated new and different junk.
You came home and you said,
where are we going to put all this?
relax. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
No lifting.
No carrying.
No banging and bumping in the wall.
Just a beautiful, wide open space full of happiness and sunlight.
You'll have room to roam.
To breathe again.
You've never felt so free.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Guys, come on!
The Barbie Bar, the place to go for mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs and the chicken sucking.
At RE/MAX, we always find the home suits you best. Like the Hendersons, who sounds a bit like this. The home with the beautiful workshop, we found it. RE/MAX, we take care of you. If your last vaccination against COVID-19 was more than 5 months ago, it's time to get another dose. Boosting your antibodies reduces the risk of getting or transmitting the virus.
and booster doses help reduce the number of hospitalizations and deaths related to COVID-19. For better protection against the virus, book an appointment at quebec.ca/COVID vaccine and follow the recommended vaccination schedule. Vaccination against COVID-19, a good way of extending our protection. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
When my knees were hurting, I was that guy who told everyone about it. I talked to my colleagues, "Hi everyone, my knees hurt." To my dog, "My knees hurt." But really, I should have been talking to my doctor about Cingal, the only treatment that combines fast-acting and long-lasting relief from osteoarthritis knee pain in a single injection. To find a clinic, visit cingal.ca, cingal.ca. Stop going on about your knee pain. Instead, talk to your doctor about Cingal. Cingal may not be appropriate for everyone. If you have questions about this product, talk to your doctor.
Following last Sunday's sellout and commemorating the 30th anniversary of her iconic album, Marina McKenna, The Visit revisited. This Sunday at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier. Performing The Visit in its entirety, plus many more favorites. Don't miss Lorena McKenna. Tickets at PlaceDesArts.com. A Ruben Fogle production.
The October Flyer has arrived at Mondu. From September 29th to October 9th, it's time to take advantage of discounts on accessories, food, hygiene products, and more. Save up to $7 on Royal Canine dry food for cats and dogs, and $7 on Science Diet dry food for cats and dogs. Or buy 2 auto select clumping litters in 18-kilogram size for only $26. Visit your Mondu store or head to Mondu.com to find yours and see all our offers. Mondu, we're here for you always.
This weekend, don't miss the big collection event for old electronics. We all end up accumulating electronic devices that are outdated or no longer work. But did you know that they are all recyclable? Drop them off this weekend from 9 to 5 in the parking lot.
Stories and video. If you're home, make it your news.
Watch CTV News at 6 and visit ctvnewsmontreal.ca. It's always good to start the day hearing from an old friend. The Andrew Carter Morning Show, CJAD 800.
Every Friday at noon, Chatter That Matters, Tony Chapman brings you a fascinating profile of a person, sometimes a person you'd like to be. The focus this week is Anthony Lecavera, who parlayed a $25,000 business loan into how much, Tony? How much?
A multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
Wow. So what is this enterprise?
Well, it was originally Mobile was his big hit, and he ended up having to sell it because investors, there was a deal on the table, and he's kind of forced to doing it. But now the circle's gone full circle in the sense that when Rogers wants to merge with Shaw, they have to sell this part of their business to be in good trust with the Canadian Competition Act. So he's trying to buy it back, but they don't want to sell it to him because his whole premise with Win Mobile was about lowering prices.
Right.
And so what they're trying to do is put it in with a company that will keep prices high versus having a real value competitor in the mix. So it's a big battle going on right now. But what's great about this show is just how he took $25,000, applied some great principles for entrepreneurs as small business month is underway. And it's a great lesson in life for all of us that want to maybe one day run our own show.
Okay, so, every week on Chatter That Matters, you seem to learn some sort of a lesson about life of a business. So what's the takeaway from this?
He has a all of us, if we're approaching a problem, starting a business, building a career, is why do you matter? What do you stand for? And never lose sight of that North Star. And when you guide your life and your career that way, a lot of can happen.
You ever gotten any of these guys to adopt you?
Hockeyville, that would have made me. That would have made me as wealthy as you.
Doesn't that drive you crazy? So every time you hear or see Kraft Hockeyville, it just makes you grind your teeth, right?
I mean, we've got lots of credit, and they won the 10th anniversary, won the sponsorship of the decade, and they showered us with love. So there's a lot of goodwill that went with it. But what I have loved to have a recurring on that one, because they've sold a lot of peanut butter. With Kraft Hockeyville.
Yeah, no kidding. And I just saw a video of the Montreal Canadiens players getting off the team bus before the morning skate in Gander, Newfoundland. And when you bring a professional hockey team like that into a small community like that, you should see how excited people are.
The whole idea was to bring back some pride with small towns and have them sort of compete to have these NHL teams coming. And it's been unbelievable because all of these little places around the world, around Canada, I mean, this is something that'll be in their history book forever because this is the big leagues playing in their little arenas or outside rinks, and it's just been a fantastic program for on every level, and I'm just proud to be part of the agency that created it.
Yeah, even though you're mad at you.
Yeah, I was like, listen, if Kraft was to send me, the $100 million, well, actually even $100, you would think I'd be happy.
You would forget, or maybe some of those old recipes,
Tell me all that. That'd be great.
Hey, Tony, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Take care, okay?
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Tony Chapman, Chatter That Matters. This week's guest is Anthony Lacavera, a man who parlayed a $25,000 small business loan into a multi-billion-dollar business, so Wind Mobile. 8:28. Good morning, Sean Starr.
Good morning. It's game day on TSN 690. The winless Canadiens take on the Ottawa Senators tonight. Habs prospect Kaden Guhle is quickly learning about the ongoing rivalry between Montreal and Ottawa.
Some battles here, and everyone's competing, and everyone wants to win. So we're excited for the next few games here. And again, just battle and compete every game.
2 more preseasons to go. The Canadiens' regular season opens up next Wednesday. Habs and Sens, though, tonight at 6. Catch it live on TSN 690. Politicians in Ottawa say the governing body for hockey in our province made the right call to distance itself from the actions of Hockey Canada. The federal organization is under fire after it was revealed that it spent millions settling abuse claims, now faces accusations it covered up criminal behavior. Conservative MP John Nader, who is on the Commons Committee investigating the issue, wants other provincial hockey organizations. He said that hockey is being made a scapegoat for the toxic culture that exists across society, including in politics. Meanwhile, Minnesota's Luis Arias finished with his lowest average for an American League batting champ since 1968, and the Mets' Jeff McNeil won the NL title. The Yankees' Aaron Judge was held out by New York manager Aaron Boone a day after hitting his American League record 62nd home run to break the Roger Maris mark set back in 1961. Judge says he lobbied Boone to play in the season finale.
I talked to Skip. I made my case, and he said I was down, so I was down.
And the baseball playoffs begin tomorrow. The Tampa Bay Rays visit the Cleveland Guardians in the first playoff game, with the Seattle Mariners traveling to Toronto to play in their first postseason game in 21 years. The winner of the Rays-Guardians series will take on the Yankees in the ALDS. The Mariners-Blue Jays winner will play the number 1 seeded Houston Astros. Happy Thursday, Andrew, a.k.a. Friday, June. Sports.
Thank you very much. Sean Starr coming up. Second breakfast with Elias Makos and Kemba Mitchell. Who taught you how to brush your teeth?
A high of 23 degrees. Weather details coming up in a minute. Right now, 12 degrees. And here is what is making you. Another sponsor bails on Hockey Canada. Gas prices up this morning and for some time to come. And how this Nobel-worthy author will learn about her win.
13 South holds you back from the 440 out of Laval or southbound from St. Rose. As sports experts in Atmosphere get 30 to 50% off products from previous seasons from top brands. Details in report 845.
In the news, Hockey Canada has lost another sponsor. The telecommunications company TELUS is yanking its support of the men's program this season, including the World Juniors Tournament. TELUS says it is profoundly discouraged with Hockey Canada's lack of effort in changing its internal culture. Yesterday, Scotiabank and Tim Hortons announced they too were pulling their sponsorship of the men's program. Hockey Canada has been under fire the way it dealt with sexual misconduct claims and how it financed settlements in some of them. Motorists are seeing a significant jump in gasoline prices this morning. On the island of Montreal, you'd be hard-pressed to find a liter of regular under $1.70 this morning. The hike followed word from the OPEC Plus group of oil exporting nations that they'll be throttling production come November. Gas price analyst Dan McTigg of Canadians for Affordable Energy says brace for more price pain for a variety of reasons.
Well, I would expect that prices in the $1.80 to $2 a liter range is the reality that will be with us right until next year, at which point we'll have to see where the markets go. But there's a shortage of critical fossil fuels such as oil, gasoline, diesel, home heating fuel, fewer refineries in the United States, especially in the East, and of course a weak Canadian dollar.
Construction slowly resuming at Montreal's 2 new organic waste treatment plants. The sites were shut down in July because of a money dearth, but the turnkey contract holds the company responsible. The new composting center is in Saint-Laurent, the biomethanation plant in Montreal East. A horrifying attack today at a daycare center in Thailand. At least 35 people are dead, including 24 children. NBC reporter Kelly Kobila.
Police say the gunman, a 34-year-old former police officer, went into that preschool, that nursery, and...
I'll make sure you get your stuff back, but I think it's pretty cool of you that you're being so nice to me. This wasn't intentional. Oh my god, you don't even, can't even.
Your call has been forwarded to a voicemail service that has not been initialized by the customer you are calling. The customer you are calling is... Your call has been forwarded to a voicemail service that has not been initialized by the customer you are calling.
Hi. We're gonna eat. Oh my god. I'm my mother's child. Like, it is crazy.
Get 100 days of lease or finance rate protection on your new Mazda. Visit your local Mazda dealer for details today. Next report, 9 o'clock.
8:46. And it's going to be a sunny day today with a high of 23, even a humidex 25. Let's look ahead to the Elias Macco show.
Andrew, coming up on the Big Five at 9:05, we're going to talk about Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, the leader of the PQ. He is adamant that he will not pledge an oath to King Charles III. He will not pledge allegiance to the king. But the Constitution says if you don't get to go into the National Assembly. So we'll discuss what should happen when Paul St. Pierre Plamondon refuses. Should he be allowed in the National Assembly? One of the things we will debate. At 10 o'clock, the Quebec competitor to Amazon has launched, but it's missing one really big thing, and we'll take a look at the fate of parking lots on in-transit at 10:30.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, back to the flossing thing, one thing that my doctor, Dr. Ullman, told me at Cardiogenics is that there's a direct correlation between people who floss regularly and heart health.
Yes.
And people who floss regularly live longer.
Yes. I've heard it too.
So, yeah, this is the type of, and, this is the type of information that I get on a regular basis from Dr. Ullman, because we have the chance to have these long conversations. And what I like about him is that he laughs at my jokes too, which makes him, it's just like that. Like he's more like, but he makes me feel like I'm the funniest comedian ever. But that's not why I go to Cardiogenics. I go to Cardiogenics because they take very good care of my health. And when I have even what I consider, might consider to be a minor problem, I give them a call and get my mind put at ease. And that's what I like. Do you even have a family doctor? Why don't you give them a call? See what they can do for you. 514-731-2491 or stop by cardiogenics.ca.
The Andrew Carter Morning Show, brought to you by Mac Le Bonheur. Right now, get a free adjustable bed with the purchase of select Stearns & Foster and Techno Gel mattresses. MacLeBonheur.ca.
Montreal's home for live sports and sports talk. TSN 690.
Kyoto has Mihailovic in the middle. Can he get it to him? He does! The ball is up. He makes the grab. Touchdown, Montreal!
When you need to know. Where you need to get it off your chest.
Wasting the career of, I believe, the greatest hockey player of all time. And that it's time for him to stand up and just say, thanks for no thanks. Right. I'm out of here.
Montreal's Major League Sports Talk lives on TSN 690.
Relax into the comforts of home. Slip into a nice lukewarm bath. Curl up in your bed of nails. Drape yourself in a sandpaper blanket and rest your weary head on a pillow made of coffee.
When it comes to your home, nothing. Eligible for the Canada Greener Homes Grant. Conditions apply. Visit master.ca/Fujitsu to find a dealer. Jazz Brossard Retirement Community wants to welcome you to their next open house event, October 16th at 1 p.m. Just steps away from Cartier Discount. Come check out their awesome common areas. They have all kinds of activities they know you'll love. Sign up now at happytomeetyou.ca or call 450-766-0579. That's 450-766-0579. Join the community Sunday, October 16th at 1. Jazz Brossard. Retirement lived to the fullest. You'd look gorgeous in an Aston Martin and you know it. Or slip behind the wheel of a Bentley and see how comfortably it fits. Try a Jaguar on for size or a Land Rover. Treat yourself at Decari Motors. More than 100,000 square feet of ultra-modern showroom space with the latest models of iconic British cars. And the Decari Signature division of pre-owned luxury vehicles. Experience 75 years and 3 generations of excellence, expertise and outstanding customer service at Decari Motors, Decari.com.
Black, white, saffron yellow, cerulean blue. The range of colors enthralls you. The
fabric split between your fingers, the repetition of it all comes years of poetry next to your new washer dryer combo. But geez, the laundry, 3 kids, and soccer generate. Everything seems better when you're living your Say Hyacinth, Laval, saving at home.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal. An iHeart radio station.
Is living at home more difficult, or are you concerned about your parents' well-being? Leanna Senior Transition Support provides guidance in finding the ideal options in home care and seniors residences. Solutions are available to you right now, including immediate care and urgent relocation.
Hi, I'm Matt Delvecchio. Call us for a free, no-obligation consultation at 514. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you, it finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
The 2023 Mazda CX-5 has remarkable style, offering you remarkable performance. But what's even more remarkable is that you can also take advantage of a 180-day lease and finance rate protection, an unlimited mileage warranty, and a 2-year trial of Mazda connected services with remote start. All that plus standard iActive all-wheel drive. Go see the Mazda CX-5 at your dealership today. Conditions apply. Visit Mazda.ca for details.
Need help with your kitchen renovations? Reno Assistance provides verified contractors. They can't guarantee anyone to leave for food, but you'll have a really nice kitchen. Reno Assistance. 53 points verified. Less to worry about. Upgrading your bathroom? Reno Assistance will guarantee the work. Can they guarantee that your TV system? Verified contractors? Less to worry about. Reno Assistance.ca.
Information you need. Getting to work on time. Mornings with Andrew Carter on CJ.
Interesting new footage out of the Michigan governor's race, where incumbent Gretchen Whitmer is running against Republican nominee and woman lecturing the just how spicy she wants it to meet the call. Senator Dixon. In the latest polls, Dixon's trailing Whitmer by a whopping points, and she's raised so little cash that her campaign has not had the money to fund its own commercials. So look how it stopped them. Dixon shared the commercial on social media, and now, well, I'm sharing it with you. Jim?
3,000 restaurants closed. And she's pro-business? Yeah, right. And what about those higher gas and food prices?
Our schools were closed for almost 2 years. Poor kids. And she put COVID patients in Grant's nursing home.
Graham died alone.
And the officers. Also, you can't be mad with closed schools and also be mad about people catching COVID. Drunk driving's up and to close the bars. Graham drank alone.
Jimmy, apparently in a private conversation, President Biden told the Reverend Al Sharpton that he's going to run again in 2024. Jody, did he tell me? I mean, if that information wasn't supposed to get out, then Sharpton was like, he also told me that his AOL password is great, that's pretty sick. Exclamation point. Well, everyone will tell you about this. Hey, divorce lawyers. Found an entrepreneurship that helped me yesterday, but actually said more than 5,400 hotels across the country. Not to be outdone, Days Inn announced towels.
Andrew Carter on CJAD. The MUHC
Foundation, experts were making life-saving discoveries and championing patient care.
Part of WHC's Got Talent, a fundraiser showcasing the hidden talents of our healthcare professionals.
Health Matters, Sunday at noon on CJAD 800.
If your last vaccination against COVID-19, get another dose. Boosting your antibodies reduces the risk of getting or tracking the virus, and booster doses help reduce the number of hospitals. For better protection against the virus, book an appointment at quebec.ca/COVID vaccine and follow the recommended vaccination rules. Vaccination against COVID-19 is a good way of extending our protection. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
So, what's for dinner?
Don't let people go hungry in silence. Let's take action to support the food in Quebec. Until Wednesday, the SAQ will donate 1 meal for every Quebec product purchased. SAQ, the spirit of sharing and giving back. Open store or at SAQ.com.
If you want to come and cheer on your Alouettes as a group of 10 or more people, you can get a great deal on tickets with the Alouettes group packages. Don't wait to reserve. To learn more, visit alouettesdemontreal.com.
Is Will of the People World Tour. March 14th, Bell Center. With special guests, Evan Edson. Will of the People, the album available now. It's on Friday at 10 a.m. at news.su. Will of the People World Tour.
Make your health a priority with Jim Fit Form. Try it out for free during the open house October 11th to 16th at any of their locations. RDP, Laval, Point Claire, or Mascouche. Sign up now for the new weekend package for just $99 a year. JimFitForm.com.
She's the oldest rookie in the FBI. The fact that I'm here, get it. The producers of The Rookie. Meet tonight's best stars in The Rookie Fed. All new Tuesday at 10. Set your PVR. Only on CTV.
Well, what a beautiful day. It's going to be sunshine and 23. I'm looking forward to a mini golf tournament to raise money for Nova. You know who invited me? Matt Del Vecchio from Life Unrehearsed. Founder and president of Liana's Senior Transition Report. That should be fun. What? No. Judy Mason with your CTV News update for 9 o'clock. And then it's the Elias Macco Show. Sarah DeHayes, producer of the Andrew Carter Morning Show. Anthony DiBiasio in Master Control. I'm Andrew Clark. Have a great day.
This newscast brought to you by Supermarché Acavan. The Sherbrooke Street location is closed, but the new location on St. Jacques near Cavendish is open. Bigger, better, with...
Morning, it is 9 o'clock rather. I'm Shirley Mason with your CTV News update. Main morning, some clouds moving in late this afternoon. Starting right for traffic Saturday. In Montreal right now, 12 degrees, and here is what is making news. Another sponsor ditches Hockey Canada. The SPCA will appeal Longueuil Deer Code ruling and the rise of sleep tourism. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here is Catherine Wood.
The westbound 20 is dealing with a left lane stall at First Avenue. You're congested from before Angrignon. Eastbound on the 20, you're heavy from well before 55th over towards First, and then again from almost Angrignon up onto the eastbound 136. Eastbound 40 is holding you back from almost the 13 into the Carey Circle. Northbound to Carey. North, you're heavy from Gaeton Laberge into Turcotte. Busy off the inbound Mercier down to the 20. Inbound Champlain flows from about Milan. 13 south holds you back from the 440. Laurentian en route southbound Saint Martin. Net west is busy from Longchaudière. Grapes may help support a healthy immune system. Yep, no full in stores now. Next traffic report 9:15.
In the news, another sponsor is turning its back on Hockey Canada. TELUS, the telecommunications firm, announced this morning it is pulling its support of Hockey Canada's men's program. That includes sponsorship of the World Juniors Tournament. TELUS says the organization has not made enough of an effort to change its internal culture after scandals centered on sexual misconduct cases and how settlements were financed. Yesterday, the Tim Hortons chain said it is yanking support of the men's program, and Scotiabank announced extension of its boycott through the coming season. The SPCA here in Montreal says it will appeal this week's Superior Court ruling, emblematic of a growing issue in Quebec, and there should be a real reflection on responsible and ethical management of wildlife in communities. Longueuil says Michel Chartrand Park can support no more than 20 deer, and right now more than details emerging from that deadly mass shooting at a daycare center in Thailand. Reporter Maggie Ruley says the gunman killed at least 24 children, 11 adults.
A gunman opened fire just after noon during nap time at that daycare center in a remote part of northeastern Thailand. Most of them were sleeping when gunfire broke out, killing every child but one.
Police say the man then fled the scene, shooting from his car as he drove home, where he killed his wife and child before taking his own life. Investigators say the man was a former cop who had been fired last year for drug use. Escalating tension between North and South Korea when the North sent 12 of its warplanes close to the shared border today. The South scrambled 30 military jets to respond.
The highly unusual incident has come just hours after North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea. The North warplanes consisted of 8 fighter jets and 4 bombers, which were in formation by the border. South Korean officials believe they conducted air-to-surface firing drills. South Korea responded with 30 fighter jets and other warplanes of their own, though they engaged in any clash with the North Korean aircraft. I'm Karen Chavez.
And now on the radar in the hospitality industry, sleep tourism. That's an acknowledgement that real rest is on the vacation agenda of a number of people these days. CNN is reporting an increasing number of hotels and resorts offering special sleep-enhancing options, such as sound-insulated rooms, a menu of pillows to choose from for optimal slumber, aromatherapy pillow sprays, and weighted blankets to encourage sound sleep. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CJAD800. Your Dormez-vous Weather Center forecast. Mainly sunny this morning, increasing cloudiness late this afternoon, a high of 23 degrees. Mainly cloudy tonight with a 30% chance of showers, a low of 13. Tomorrow, a few showers in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon as the temperature falls to 11. And the outlook for Saturday, sunny at a high of 12. In Montreal right now, it is 12 degrees. For all the news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say, play CJAD 800. Your next CTV News update is at 9:30.
The stories the office is buzzing about. The Big Five on the Elias Macco Show. Brought to you by investment advisor Richard Lapointe of CIBC Wood Gundy. Richard Lapointe can always be reached at 847-6324.
The on-air light is on the corner of Papineau and René Lévesque, right here in Montreal, and it is time for the Big Five on the Elias Macco Show. For this Thursday, October 6th, I'm Elias Maccos, and I welcome you to this edition of the Big Five. On today's Big Five, if Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon won't pledge allegiance to the King, should he be barred from the National Assembly? Take a look at that story. Plus, the walls continue to collapse around Hockey Canada. First things first, let's do a shout-out. Shout-out to pollsters. You nailed it on Monday. Look at some of the big firms. Leger, Main Street Research, and we had Keto Maggie for Main Street on the program yesterday. They came so close to nailing the election results perfectly. A couple of percentage points here and there. Pretty good day for pollsters on Monday. Shout out to... Let's find out who's on the Big Five. Joining us this morning, Sue Montgomery is a former journalist and the former mayor of Côte-des-Neiges MDG. Hi, Sue.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you back on. And Paul Gott is lead singer and guitarist for the Montreal punk band The Riplords. and a journalism professor at Concordia. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Paul. So let's get down to it. First story up discussion. I love this story because it may force certain people into defending a guy they don't like. Oxford University graduate and PQ leader Paul St. Pierre Plamondon is adamant he will not pledge allegiance to King Charles III. But here's the issue. The Constitution, and it's the Constitution from 1867 that Quebec did sign, says clearly, depending on how this legal battle plays out, the Constitution says that if you want to enter the National Assembly, you need to swear this oath to the Crown. If he doesn't, he can't enter the National Assembly. He's already been saying that this is going to turn into court battle. He will refuse to do it. He just won't say the words. So let me ask you, with all the questions we have about the monarchy and its role and if we should even have it, this is still in the Constitution. So if Paul St. Pierre Plamondon says, no, I won't swear an allegiance to the Crown, I won't pledge allegiance to the King, should he be barred from taking that seat inside the National Assembly? Sue.
Okay. I don't agree with him on basically anything, but I have to say I support this. I think it's archaic. I think this whole, allegiance to the Crown, especially King Charles, should be scrapped. But of course, it's a constitutional issue, so yes, it would have to go through the whole legal process. But frankly, I just, at the end of the day, we have more urgent issues, I think, to deal with. And I think at the end of the day, he was elected by his constituents. I think he needs to represent them. And wasn't there a time when we were kids where you could promise something but cross your fingers behind your back?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he needs to do, is just plug his nose and do it. And
that's the incredible thing here, Sue. Like, there's so many ways, in your brain to sort of justify it. Cross your fingers, say not right at the end, or really softly underneath your, under your breath.
People do it when they get married all the time.
Paul, let's get your thoughts here on this pickle.
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm the registered anarchist on the panel, but
you doing back there, Ruby?
any of the current leaders to actually step up and do anything for us. So I think it's going to be another four years of frustration for the Anglophone community, and it will be more of a separation, not a physical separation, but certainly a separation of policies, a separation of everything except having a referendum from the rest of Canada.
So I think this is interesting here, because if we look at the next 4 years on the notion of keeping Canada together, you know, there's definitely a case to be made. If you have yet another 4 years where separation sovereignty is on the back burner, which, you know, then this government, let's not forget to point out, so many members of the cabinet are avowed federalists, right? There's a roster here in the CAQ. It is a split between federalists and sovereignists within the party. Isn't this good for Canada? 4 more years where we're not talking about referendum, separation. It actually is on the back burner. Sue?
Well, I think the worry is more towards the right. And the xenophobia, you know, all the rhetoric against immigrants, and like Paul said, minority rights, Anglo rights. So I think that's the worry that gives Quebec a bad name in the rest of Canada. But that being said, you know, Ontario has Ford. So
yeah, and Canada is like, this is why, you know, I got to push back here, right? Because the people are losing their minds on this one. Because if you look at, you know, you look at François Legault, compare him to Doug Ford, compare him to Pierre Poilievre, you know, so to say that Quebec's going to the right, I'm sorry, Quebec has been doubling down on centrism. That's what we do. And I know sometimes when we disagree with someone's opinion, the human reaction is to throw them into the extreme camp. I know that happens. But when I look at the right in this country, I'm far more worried about what's happening in rest of Canada than I am in Quebec. Am I on
yeah, but
something?
what about, I mean, his name slips my mind right now,
Jean Boulet.
Yeah. Got reelected. You know, like, how can people like that get elected when they say these horrendous things? I mean, what kind of message does that send to immigrants? And I think it's happening globally. I don't think Quebec is unique in this sense. I think everybody's doubling down around the world as we see more and more refugees. You know, people are starting to circle the wagons. And I think it got worse during the pandemic. At the beginning, we were all really, you know, ça va bien, and, you know, we're helping everyone. But as time wore on, it was like me, myself, and I. And I think the facts keep into that. I agree with you that, you know, Poilievre is far more dangerous and right-wing. But here in Quebec, I think, you know, I just think that, like I said, I think Legault is a very old-fashioned kind of guy, and he calls the shots and sets the tone for that party. So I am concerned about that.
And I just want to say, Sue, because you asked a great question. How does Jean Boulet get reelected, right?
Yeah.
So let's just take a few seconds here. And this is not a defense of the clip that came out, right? This is not, right? What he said was abhorrent. But in the days that follow, right? Did you hear like the rest of the National Assembly come out and say, "Yep, this Jean Boulet, it's been 4 years in back corridors. He's been saying these things. Jean Boulet is at a core racist." Like, those stories have not come out, right? And let me just point this out too. Jean Boulet has put the foot in mouth disease 4 times as immigration minister. 2 of those foot in mouths was because he ended up being too for immigration and had to pull himself back. So, you know, like, and let's also point this out. Why did he get reelected in Trois-Rivières? Like everyone says, the guy was a good M&A. And, you know, and this is personal experience. I've mentioned this on the show before. I'm in Trois-Rivières one morning, Sunday morning. I'm walking down the street. And the reason I ended up having to have a 45-minute conversation with him and his wife, he went down the street, I kept seeing him. Every single person that he passed, he went to them and said, "Hi, bonjour." He said, "Bonjour." He said, "Bonjour." He said hello to everyone he crossed on the street. And then I crossed him and he says hello to me, and I end up in this great conversation with him. Like, if the scouting report on Jean Boulay was, oh my God, noted racist, here's the history, then I'd be different here. But I think we're losing sometimes the context of everything. And I think that's why we got reelected, too. I don't think it's because, I don't think it's that Port-Pierre is the most racist place on earth. Okay, guys, we're getting into this big issue here. So we've got 4 minutes left, and I think we have time for it. The walls continue to collapse around Hockey Canada. Major sponsors are pulling sponsorships, right? Tim Hortons, TELUS, Scotiabank. Hockey Quebec is separating from the rest of Hockey Canada without a referendum, I should add, but they are just going to withhold of the main Canadian organization for now. Politicians having a field day jockeying for interim board chair and MP Anthony Hauswald.
Those funds all have prescribed purposes or objectives, and
is the answer then no, that you don't have another fund?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Is the answer, is the answer then no, that you do not have another fund that you use to fund these type of claims related to sexual liability or sexual assault?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with the premise of the question, but I don't believe that there is.
So let's take a look at this story. Hockey Canada's interim board chair, Andrea Skinner, who you heard there, says that the organization has become the victim of a misinformation and unduly cynical attack campaign from the media. Sue, Hockey Canada here, this is a big story with a lot of tentacles here. I need to point out just off the top, when we talk about these funds that have been created, I know we look at that 2018 story about what happened with the 18-year-old members of the men's hockey team, but the vast majority of these funds have gone to what happens in organizations that deal with youth, sexual abuse with minors, right? This is why the fund was actually created. Sue, let me get your thoughts first on this.
Well, like you go on defense.
But she's been very, she's been very, very adamant. I have to say, like every media thing,
Yeah, but it's not a good look. I mean, the victims have spoken. They're not making this up. And it's just, they need to come out and own this. And they need to vow to make some changes. I mean, the more you push back, the worse you look, So I think Rick Westhead has done incredible reporting on this on TSN. And, he's a solid reporter, and I think, when you always know that there's an issue when they blame the media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying the media are always right, but in things like this, I mean, it's not something you report lightly, sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I just think they look really bad, and they need to just come out and own it.
Paul?
Yeah, I mean, when this first came out, I was, I said, the first reason was to basically, defend themselves. I said, should just fire them all, and we should fire them all. There's enough people, good people working in hockey across this nation, that there's a lot of expertise out there. We don't need these people on the board who probably aren't really hockey people anyway. They're administrators. They are people who raise funds as opposed to actually deal with hockey. These are people we don't need, and this reaction is just offensive. It's offensive from A to Z. It's just watching her tap dance yesterday as she was trying to answer questions, and even the one that you ran, where it's like, oh, I don't like the question. It's like, the question is, are you paying people who are sexually, paying off people because they're sexually assaulting people? It's a very good question, and we don't want our money spent on it. And I think they're going to have to change, because they are losing their sponsors. They are losing all their support. And you know what? This is our national sport too. It's like, hockey's been in decline for years because it's expensive, it's difficult to get into, it's time consuming, families can't afford it, and they need things like Hockey Canada to support the sport. I mean, they're not only killing their own organization, they're killing our national sport. Get rid of all these bums.
And it's insulting to the victims. It's just victimizing people when you deny what has happened, and that's who I feel the most sorry for are all the victims of this.
Guys, I'm out of time on this one, but I'm going to throw a question out there as also a statement here to wrap this up. I imagine the alternate reality where Hockey Canada doesn't have funds to deal, and they create funds because we shouldn't create funds to deal with these kinds of issues. I think if that was the case, they would also be getting attacked now. Like, how do you not, like corporate governance, like a lot of people say you need to have these types of funds in place so that you can take care of victims. And if they didn't have the funds, I think they would also be getting attacked right now, which makes this issue so complex. I want to thank you guys for coming on the program this morning. Great Big Five. Sue Montgomery, Paul Gott, you guys have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
When we return on the Elias Macko Show, Oxford University graduate and PQ leader Paul St. Pierre Plamondon says he will not swear an oath to the king. Should he be barred from the National Assembly because of it? Stay tuned.
Missed it live? You can check out the Big Five podcast on the iHeartRadio app and all major podcast platforms.
This newscast brought to you by Electrica. This winter, keep your roof free from ice and prevent damage using de-icing cables. Install now. Call today, 514-7778.
Good morning. It is 9:30. I'm Trudy Mason with the CTV News Update. The Quebec Community Groups Network is repeating its call for a ministry in the new Legault government responsible for relations with English and Anglo voices are heard. TELUS says it will not be sponsoring Hockey Canada's men's programs for the coming season, including the World Junior Championship in Halifax and Moncton. The Telecom's move comes as Hockey Canada continues to defend its leadership over criticism of the handling of sex assault allegations in the suit. TELUS is following the lead of Tim Hortons and Scotiabank. And some Summit Series hockey players will be meeting and greeting this afternoon at the SAQ outlet on Mountain Street downtown. Serge Savard, Guy Lapointe, Yvan Cournoyer, and Peter Mahovlich are part of a promotion for two products commemorating Team Canada 1972, a gin and a limited edition beer. The signing session runs from 4 to 7. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here is Catherine Wood.
Coming off the inbound Champlain Bridge, you're heavy from Nuns Island straight through to about Côte St. Catherine on northbound to Carey. Outbound Champlain, we have left lane maintenance at the volume en Grignon through to 1st, eastbound from 55th through 1st, and heavy across the inbound Mercier down to the 20. Martin to the Met, eastbound 40 holds you back from Côte Vertu into the Carey Circle, westbound Met from Longjuvier. How about an Adonis Thanksgiving feast for a change? Lebanese cooked turkey served with rice and vegetables for 10 people at only $99.
Cast mainly sunny this morning, increasing cloudiness late this afternoon, a high of 23. Mainly cloudy tonight with a 30% chance of showers, a low of 13. And tomorrow, a few showers in the morning, tapering off in the afternoon. The temperature.
The Elias Macko Show.
Well. Let's see where you stand on this one.
Mikey!
Constitution says that if you want to enter the legislature, the Quebec legislature, the National Assembly, you need to swear an oath to the crown. Right now, King Charles III says, no way, Jose, no way am I doors to enter the National Assembly. So what do you think? Do you think
CJAD 800 will also put a little extra cash in your pocket. Just listen to the Andrew Carter Morning Show to play the Can't Lose Quiz. Only $100
Okay.
CNN Textiles. Do it once, do it right. With locations in Montreal, Sarge, and Ottawa. See their products at cntextiles.com.
We're gonna run over first.
You don't even really have to know stuff. Well, maybe a little. On News Talk Radio, CJAD 800. Quick big storage break. You got to call Money United 760. There are multiple shots to fire. Low energy point CIBC with them. How many times have you heard that we're living through uncertain times? Well, we are certainly transiting.
Okay. I leave computer.